Where have you been the last several years? What have you been doing with yourself, and what are you doing now?
Well, raising a family and just doing little personal appearances and little training techniques and really just enjoying myself and really enjoying life, having a wonderful time.
Can you talk about your family a little bit? How many kids you have?
3 sons.
Oh, what are their ages?
They're like 27, 18, and 16.
What got you first interested in boxing? What was it about the sport that drew you to it so much?
Well, my father, he did it, and I wanted to do everything he did, and he held me off for a while until I was around 10, and then he decided to bring me in and give me a shot.
You wanted to get in that ring earlier.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to try to see what it was about.
You were never scared of taking that one bad shot to the face?
No, I was always excited about it. I was excited about the challenge, the competition. I looked at it like that, and it was just being competitive. And then once I got into it, it was like, whoa, and then I started learning more and more about it, and just got more involved and fell more in love with it.
I've got to ask you about the big fight 20 years ago. I know you've talked up and down about it, but really, you look back at that Mike Tyson fight 20 years ago. Do you look back at that now and reflect like, wow, I can't believe that actually happened?
Well, yeah, it's like, a childhood dream come true. Because growing up, we had tons of boxing magazines all over the house, and centerfolds would always be the champions with their belts on.
Sure.
And it was like, wow, I wonder how that would feel, to be, announced as the heavyweight champion or the champion, and it came true, and it was just an awesome experience,
Can you think back to that moment 20 years ago? What was
definitely.
going through? Can you really?
Yeah.
What was it like?
It was just a moment to be seized, It was my moment to take. If I wanted it, I had to take it. I had to go up and do it.
And you did.
And it's a great feeling.
Now, you did take some time after the fight, and I know you actually gained some weight, a little bit of weight. What was your peak weight?
I don't really know. I was really never a scale guy.
No, you really don't know?
No, I don't. But I know it was, it was 3-something.
How hard was that on you? Because for someone who was so in shape, so physically fit, boxed, played sports all your life.
It wasn't really until like after a couple of years of being like that, it started wearing on me. But I was able to get back and get back right, get back tight. So
yeah, look at you now.
Yeah, I feel great.
You look good. So what are you doing to keep yourself in shape right now?
Well, just staying busy and cutting out a lot of things and just trying to really do a lot of positive things as far as eating and stuff, and just cut out that drinking, that alcohol and stuff. But
so what do you weigh right now? Do you even know, since you said you're not a scale man?
No, I don't really know.
You don't know. It's just how you feel,
It's
right?
just how I feel, exactly.
It's yours.
And then put the clothes on and still feel loose. I'm good.
Everything
is going well, yeah.
Why has it been so important to you to stay here in the Central Ohio area, to raise your family?
This is where I grew up at, and I learned to be me.
But you could have gone anywhere after the big fight.
Yeah, but this is my hometown, and I just love being here. I moved away for a little while,
right.
But I just came back to where I wanted to raise my family here. Share what experiences that I had growing up.
Do people still recognize you're on town? Do they say,
Sure.
hey, there's Buster Douglas?
Sure.
Signing autographs still?
Oh yeah, it's all good.
Can you give me a jab?
Yeah, bam.